Hi Leo, this is your forecast for the month of September 2018. This is a general reading for Leo Sun, Leo Rising, or Leo Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. So Leo, this first week you're starting off with a major card. For some of you, this is a tie to a Sagittarius, but for others of you, you may be coming in contact with some kind of healer. It could be a physical healer or spiritual healer. For others of you, maybe you're involved with an artist or somebody who manages something. For others of you, maybe you're involved with somebody who is of a different background, than you are. But you are trying to mediate and compromise with regard to something. And moderation and self-restraint is going to be key for you right now. So you may be trying to reconcile some differences. You're having to tolerate, different viewpoints and stay balanced. And also, there may be a tendency to procrastinate with something. And so proper timing is important. This is going to be a week where it's important that you cast aside any biases, any prejudices. Fairness is going to be key. And so you cannot take an extreme position. This is all about meeting in the middle, finding the common ground and the fruitful combination, yours plus that of another person, just the right mix. So there could be issues where you're trying to merge with somebody. You're trying to figure out if you're compatible. You may be having to accommodate new circumstances, be more adaptable. And, this may even tie into sexuality, the male-female principle, and having a balanced expression as far as your sexuality. So you are trying to make peace with something, and it could mean that you're going to have to really have a very honest discussion with somebody. You're going to have to put all the cards out on the table, speak your truth, put everything out in the open, and recognize where you may be at odds with someone else, but you're trying to find, what you have in common. And you're going to have to do it in such a way where the timing is perfect, where you choose the right words, where you're being careful, where you're being fair, so that you don't make another person feel threatened or overpowered or insulted in any way. So this is a week of clearing the air, speaking your truth, putting it all out there. And it may tie to your desires. Now, maybe you are tempted towards someone or something. There could be elements of lust or seduction involved in your circumstances, or perhaps fantasies are key. Maybe you're trying to create, some kind of connection to another person, and there could be some unexpected encounters. In other situations, perhaps your desires are thwarted. They don't come to fruition. And it could be that you're looking at where you're chained to a situation that you really don't want to be. Although consciously you may think that, you are making some excuses for yourself and telling yourself that it's a good idea for you to do this or to remain here or be involved in this because it's good for you or it's good for the other person. But it may just really be a bad situation that has become a habit for you. And it may be holding you back in some way. It's an excuse for you not to make the most of yourself and of your talent. For others of you, you are very much so focused on healing. It could be you're focused on eating the right foods, finding the right combination of medication. Maybe there have been some issues with addiction. And this could be a week where you find it really difficult to relax. You're trying to get to the root of some kind of diagnosis. You could have some mysterious rashes or some annoying illnesses. Something is going on. And it's difficult for you to determine exactly what that is. So there's a desire to heal, perhaps. For some of you, you're dreaming of something, and your dreams may be very prophetic, very important. They may foretell something. So there's some important messages, although your dreams may be very difficult to understand or dissect the symbolism. This is a week where you may become very distracted. Maybe you become restless or impulsive about something. Maybe you're testing the waters to see, if you want to jump into something. And you're going to have to be careful that you don't mistake intuition with impulse, because this is a week where you could be excessive in some area of your life. There could be excessive desires. Again, you could be tempted towards someone or something, and perhaps you are going too far with something. You are saying the wrong things. Maybe you're talking too much, or you say the wrong thing, or you're extravagant in some way. You purchase something and then you regret it. So this can be you going down a road that's not very healthy for yourself. Now, in some cases, you are making peace with yourself. There was a standard, a bar that you had set for yourself. And maybe you thought other people had a particular expectation, that they were demanding a particular standard from you. And these were self-inflicted burdens that you were taking on. You may find that you were the only person expecting that of you. So again, this is about compromise, self-restraint, not going too far. Perhaps, you're looking at where you've been excessive, or maybe where you have failed to compromise on an important issue. There's been a lack of balance, and it may be because you've exaggerated something, you've overreacted, or you were overdoing something, whatever that may have been. Maybe it was because of an obsession that you had, or there was some excessive ambition, or you were impatient about something and you tried to force the situation. It could be that, you've used some poor judgment, and now you're having to deal with the consequences of that. So, maybe there's been some inappropriate behavior with regard to sexuality or money, or pushing emotional boundaries in some way, maybe eating or drinking. And so you are trying to heal either physically, or you are trying to heal emotionally. So some things may not be settled right now. You could, be trying to work out a balance between your heart and your head, or, trying to find compatible ground with another person. Now, the second week, you have the King of Pentacles. This is earth energy. This could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this king. And this is a week where you may be very focused on gaining, perhaps acquisition of some sort. You're very security-minded. Maybe you want worldly success. You're having to balance your emotions or make some compromises. You want to focus on your finances, your ambitions, and you may be putting in a lot of hard work. So this is about managing something, managing your money, managing your health, managing your finances, managing a business. And there are opportunities perhaps to increase your income. You're looking at your investments, real estate transactions, what you own, and how much effort you can put in order to climb up the ladder of success. So you may be involved in some kind of financial discussions with others. Maybe you're focused on putting money in the bank or getting some kind of protection. Maybe you're looking for an investor, a backer, or maybe you're getting some financial advice, or you're connecting with somebody who is an industry leader. For some of you, maybe there are some ties to land. Maybe you're getting involved with a real estate developer, or a broker of some sort, or a financier. So there's a focus on what you own and what you can develop that will bring you some kind of security. You want to establish something, whether that is emotionally or financially. Whatever this is gives you a sense of security. For some of you, again, there's a strong tie to the land, working with the land, managing something, being financially secure, and in some cases, coming in contact with bankers, investors, stockbrokers, merchants, people who manage money. And so, this could be issues of providing, protecting, and that may be also with being loyal to someone. Now, in some cases, this is an excessive preoccupation with the financial. It could be you're trying to buy something, and again, you're going too far. You've purchased something that you regret. If you look at this King of Pentacles card, he's, in some ways, there's a lot of clutter. He doesn't know when to quit. Now, maybe he's going overboard. There could be a lack of business sense where he's completely preoccupied with money or the material, and there's some insensitivity and greed because of that. Maybe even some dishonesty. So somebody could be peddling something. There could be the poor management of something, too much worry about money, workaholism, being unorganized, putting career and money above all else. So this is going to be a week where you are looking for new avenues, either economically or emotionally. You want to advance, you want to enrich yourself, and you're having to look at your habits and behavior patterns. And either you've been on the right track and those are going to be rewarded, or those are going to be challenged. You're having to look at the things that you do that perhaps you don't even think about anymore and what the result of that is. So again, what will you do for a payoff? Are you willing to do any and everything? Now, if you're looking for an investment, this is about being very practical. Whoever you're connecting to is totally no nonsense, and they're only going to want to get involved if there's likely to be a payoff. This is not about investments in pie in the sky dreams that have very little chance of success. This king likes to stay with the tried and the true. And you may be involved in some kind of negotiations or talks concerning money. Or it could be that, somebody's being excessive. There may be a focus on what pleasure money can bring, happiness, enjoyment, or maybe you're looking at taking a risk, or you're putting something out there. Or maybe you're looking at where you need to be careful. You need to practice some kind of restraint with regard to a situation. Now, if this is about a relationship or a partnership at all, you're very interested and more inclined to want some kind of solid, reliable, dependable connection. Maybe you want to settle down. And you're being very discerning about who you get involved with on any kind of level. So you're very selective about the choices you make as far as business, as far as romantic partners. And in some cases, you may put something out there. Maybe you offer up a date or a proposal or an offer or some kind of declaration, or perhaps you receive that, because it's likely that because of this strong focus, you are connecting to somebody with similar goals and ambitions. So there's something that you want to create and establish. However, again, you may be dealing with something where, maybe somebody's been rejected or something has gone wrong, and it's creating a situation where you're having to deal with somebody who's problematic. It could be that there's some loneliness, or maybe somebody's a tightwad, or they resent having to spend money. So there could be somebody that's lacking in compassion. They're sacrificing love and caring for power and wealth, and they may be willing to bulldoze others and everything in their path in order to establish that. So there could be some frustration due to power struggles, or, somebody being stingy or materialistic. And it could be in a relationship that one of you is just a little bit too critical or too controlling or overbearing over the other. So again, you are trying to compromise perhaps, or restrain yourself. You're trying to find some balance in whether you're compatible in order to establish something that would provide some security for you. So there's something that you want to manifest. Now, this third week, you're waiting for that payoff. Maybe you've put in a lot of hard work. Maybe you're, seeking that investor. You're making some plans and patiently waiting. And you're going to have to be patient because you may be meeting with some frustrating delays. And because of that, you may even want to quit. Maybe you put in a lot of hard work and you're not seeing a whole lot of results, and so you feel discouraged. You're making an assessment about where you need to make some changes. Is there going to be an investment? Should you change course? Should you keep going? So you are reevaluating something. It could be a project or something you're involved in where you're waiting for results. It may be something that's long term, and maybe at this moment there's a lull in the development. But you are waiting to manifest something where you are empowered. You're using your personal power. You're focusing your will on something. And, you're trying to see if there's definitely a risk factor, and you're weighing your options between a risk and security, whether that's a relationship, a partnership, or a venture. Now, again, it could be that you feel like you've been wasting your efforts. Maybe you didn't follow up on something that would have paid off for you. You didn't pursue something profitable, or there's some element that is missing in a situation. It could be that you're giving up too soon, or maybe you're not trying at all. Maybe you're in a dead-end job that's going nowhere. There's a continuous worry about finances. Or again, maybe you're trying to heal. There's some illness that you're dealing with, or an infection, or maybe there's some anxiety or worry, problems at work, or you're not getting what you want. It could even be your attitude where you're stuck in a poverty mentality. But whatever it is, you're getting ready to take a closer look at your relationships, your pursuits, and where you've been putting your time, your money, your energy, your emotions. Now, you may be in some kind of dialogue and trying to reach a compromise. Both of you, may be very honest, putting everything out there, and you may gain some mutual respect, in the process of that. But in other cases, you are assessing whether you should just throw in the towel. You may be getting pushback or resistance or negativity. There's some element of confusion, and it doesn't matter how big that is. You have had it. That's it. Time out. And so, it could be that if you're dealing with something negative, somebody is holding on to a grievance. They simply cannot let go of something. Or maybe you are worried about your own ability to make money or a partner, and the worry over that earning potential is perhaps disproportionate. This could be a week, though, where you really do need to look at other ways of establishing some form of income, maybe seeking another job, a different job, or restructuring your budget, or dealing with your relationships in a different way. Now, the last week you have the Ace of Pentacles. So it could be that you're going to get a helping hand, and maybe you were waiting for that assistance and you had to compromise in order to get it. Or maybe you're questioning the wisdom of getting this assistance somehow. You're definitely putting in hard work. Now, if this is a romantic situation, this could be a week where you focus on the sensual. You're at home with your physical nature. Maybe you want to connect to somebody. So you are planting some seeds for your desires. Could be you're dating somebody new. Again, you could be at home with your physical nature, and there's a desire for an intimate connection. But for others of you, this is about having good health, and maybe you're focused on establishing your health, a fitness regimen, eating differently. For others of you, this is about the finances. You want to establish a firm foundation. Maybe you're getting a helping hand. Maybe you're offering that. This is an opportunity that literally could fall into your lap. And so it may have to do with a salary increase. It could have to do with winning something, a new opportunity, starting some kind of successful venture and getting the flow of capital for that. So you're seeking some kind of financial advantage or success or recognition, or you're going in a new direction to change your career. Now, if you are involved with somebody, maybe this is about you enjoying yourself. You want to go out on a date, and maybe you're going to an expensive restaurant, or you're drawn to somebody, or someone is drawn to you because of, the societal status. Somebody's connecting because of power or money and its influence. Or perhaps, again, you are very focused on connecting intimately with another person. And this is a week where there are opportunities to meet people, to establish relationships. And it could happen in any number of ways. It could be, because you've changed your employment, or because you changed your work schedule, or because you were buying something and possibly something expensive, or there's some kind of costly repair. For some of you, you may be waiting to establish yourself as a couple. You're going to do something. Maybe you're waiting to have a child, or buy a home, or buy property, or a car, or take a vacation. Something that ties you together. In other cases, this is about an opportunity to gain some knowledge, some wisdom, and some inner peace as part of that process. You may be trying to get to the truth of something. And some of you may connect to a healer of some sort. You're getting some spiritual guidance. But there could be an obsession with the material or the physical side of a relationship. Maybe both of you or one of you is more concerned with appearances as opposed to the depth of emotion. Or maybe you're involved in the early part of a relationship and it's gotten off to a rocky start. It's not on solid footing, and that's creating some anxiety for you. But this is a week where you're focused on bettering your chances to get something that allows you to recapture or hold on to your material and emotional stability. It could also be a week where you're having to do that assessment about your personal spending habits or working too much, professional obligations, and how they may be getting in the way of your relationships, or even, preventing you from pursuing a relationship in some way. Now, the underlying energy is this Nine of Wands. So you are very determined, or you are struggling with something. If this is an illness, this could be something that is really taxing you health-wise. But you are trying to protect your rights, your reputation, your assets, your health. You may be defending yourself. So this is about, perhaps having to stand up to something or overcome some kind of challenge. Now, you may be overly defensive. Maybe you're on guard. Maybe, there was some kind of prior conflict and you're reassessing that, and you just don't know. You feel very guarded in your connection to another person. For some of you, this represents the struggle you're having with that Seven of Pentacles. Waiting and waiting, one delay after another. Although it's a necessary delay, you are anticipating something and you're having to push through. So this is ultimately a victory card that comes with a struggle, a lot of work, a lot of perseverance. You are determined to get some kind of breakthrough, or you're struggling to get one, and you could have some sudden insight. It could be something suddenly takes off, a business, a relationship. For some of you, again, this is an unexpected visitor or some news, and you're going to have to try to be patient as best you can to avoid impulsiveness. Because remember, the Temperance card can trigger you into doing or saying something that you later regret. Now, this is you pushing forward in spite of recent setbacks or close calls or disappointments or losses you've suffered. Again, it's that reassessment of your values and habits and what they're costing you. The fortunate thing is you've gained greater wisdom. You know now your own personal role in a situation and how you got stuck at this place, and you're using that experience in order to move forward. So you understand the reasons, the whys, the hows, the who, and this new outlook allows you to make more practical decisions, better decisions. You're not letting your emotions get ahead of you. You're using the Temperance card to balance your emotions instead of allowing them to work against you. And this is also knowing how far to go. Again, you may be dipping your foot into an arena, testing the waters. And this is about not going too far ahead, taking things one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. But for others of you, something is not playing out the way you hope. Maybe somebody isn't delivering what they promised. there's a failure to move forward because something is based on a flawed foundation. Maybe the help was withdrawn, or you're waiting on some income, or you didn't get paid adequately, or somebody, misused the money or the possessions. Your plans could fall through. Maybe there's been a bad investment, or you thought something was going to get going and it was a false start. So there could be some rash decisions or some poor choices, and maybe they're due to extravagance, excess, overindulgence, or simply putting all of your eggs in one basket. In some cases, maybe you've just run out of steam. There's a loss of strength, either because of an illness or because of desire or determination. You tried to defend yourself. Maybe you lost your power. You were overpowered. There were some barriers that were too difficult for you to overcome. And it could have been that, there were some unrealistic plans to begin with, or just something that was blocking you that you couldn't overcome. In certain cases, you may feel that, the odds are insurmountable, and it may be, there's some changes that you need to make, and you refuse to. You're falling back into old habits, old patterns, ways of thinking, situations that don't push you further. Especially if you've lost something or you're confused, you're going to have to really work to balance those emotions and put some distance between your feelings and the truth of a situation. So you may need to rethink your course of action before you move forward. Now, there's going to be some changes that take place in your plans, in your ambitions, and you're having to tie up some loose ends and deal with some things that perhaps you were trying to avoid, and a change of perspective is going to be necessary. In fact, that's going to be helpful for you. And you do get the opportunity to improve or repair or clarify something that allows you to move forward more efficiently. You have one major card. It is the Temperance card. And again, compromise and restraint is key. This is about enduring something and avoiding procrastinating or some misjudgment. It's also about getting some cooperation, whether that's some assistance, some advice, some consultation. You may be in a face-to-face meeting with others, having some kind of dialogue where it's important to put everything out in the open. This will be you with someone else going over the strengths of something, the weaknesses, how it can be changed or improved. It may relate to assets or property or shared finances. And so you may feel that something about your situation is holding you back. You're dealing with emotional clutter, loose ends, unfinished business. And if you could wrap that up, maybe you feel as if you could move forward. But communication is problematic. There's something happening where very little thought was put into the decision-making process. Maybe there's not enough honesty, there's not enough communication, or somebody's being illogical or irrational. And there's been a lack of emotion, maybe a lack of sensitivity, or perhaps it's logic that's overriding everything. So you've got a lot of pentacles, and so there's a very much a focus with the material and the physical. And you can expect to encounter varying degrees of fluctuation in either one or both your material and your personal emotional concerns. So you may be focused on finalizing some matters or perhaps implementing some changes that have been planned in advance. There's a desire on your part to either increase or reestablish your security, and something may happen that helps you to minimize or withstand some kind of material dilemma. Now, this may be a focus on a business that's slowly building a reputation. It's based on your credibility, your creativity. It could be that you're seeking a place of safety where you can manage risk, where you can control the risk factor, or there may be a need to control your environment, perhaps to the point of obsessive compulsive behavior. So, ultimately this is about feeling safe, feeling grounded and secure, but don't expect a whole lot of action. This is a stable foundation, but there's a lack of movement or action that could eventually become frustrating. All right, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to subscribe. You can join me on Instagram or Patreon for extra perks, or you can join me over at my blog for a daily post. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.